Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be talking about how to evaluate materials. So let us take a quick look at what we will be learning today. What are materials? What is material evaluation? Why do we need to evaluate these materials? What are the principles of material evaluation? The types of material evaluation, and then finally, checklists and frameworks of material evaluation. So first, what is a material? Materials will be considered anything which is used to help language learning. For example, course books, workbooks, CDs, and flashcards, and etc. What is material evaluation? So according to Tomlinson, he says that it is a procedure that involves measuring the value or potential value of a set of learning materials. Why do we need to evaluate these materials? I have given here 3 reasons as to why we need to evaluate. The very first is to identify the popular and successful features of existing materials, which will help us to produce better materials. The second is to suit the needs of the student and also the needs of teaching. Third, to choose suitable materials for the language programs. Okay, there are 2 principles in material evaluation. The first is effectiveness principle and the second is efficiency principle. So basically in effectiveness principle, what they will be doing is the student will be compared of what the student knew before using this particular material and how they have gained after they have used the particular course book or the material that the teacher has given. So it's a comparison between before and after. That is the effectiveness principle. And when you talk about the efficiency principle, it compares 2 different books, whereas in the effectiveness, it's just the same book, but in efficiency, you're comparing between 2 different materials and which material suits the best. 3 types of material evaluation. The first is called external evaluation. This type of evaluation analyzes what the book tells us about itself. So when you analyze or evaluate this book, some of the external things that can be seen is the publisher, the date of publication, the intended audience, and also the context in which the materials are to be used. So when you take a book or when you take a material, just by looking at these mentioned things here, we can easily identify for what the material is used for, and that is external evaluation. Internal evaluation focuses on the internal accountability of the material. So for example, the justification of language selection and grading, the activities and tasks, also the intended objectives of that material. These are internal evaluations. The third kind of evaluation is an overall evaluation, whereas it analyzes the value of the material in relation to its flexibility, adaptability, usability, and generalizability. So given here is a graphical demonstration about flexibility, usability, adaptability, and generalizability. So when you say flexibility, how rigid are the sequencing and grading? Can the material be used in different ways? Can they be entered in different parts? Okay, how flexible your material is. Usability. How far could the materials be integrated into particular syllabus as core or as supplementary material? Adaptability. Can parts be added, extracted, used in another context, or modified for local circumstances? So your material has to be able to be added. You should be able to add or take out what is not needed for your class. And finally, generalizability. How much of the material could be used by the individual or by a group of people? We have come to the frameworks and checklists for material evaluation. In order to make material evaluation more easier to conduct, many frameworks or checklists have been developed. So I have just chosen one of the framework, which is by Breen and Candlin. Let's take a look at that. So there are two phases, as you can see, phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 is basically asking the basic or the very initial questions like, what do the materials aim to do? What do they contain? What do the materials make your learners do while they're learning? How do the materials expect you to teach the learners in the classroom? Are the materials the only resource in classroom language learning? So before you use a particular material in your classroom, you need to ask these questions so that you can have better results, and also your student will be able to grasp more knowledge. Phase 2, your learner and the material. So here are a few more questions that you could ask. Are the materials appropriate to your learner's needs and interests? Are the materials appropriate to your learner's own approaches to language learning? Are the materials appropriate to the classroom teaching or learning process? So I hope that what I have explained in this video will be of some use when you evaluate or when you're going to choose materials for your classroom and also for your students' use. Evaluating material does not only help teachers, but it is also for the benefit of the student. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in our next video.